Why do we want now?
Now! Now! Justice!
Justice!
Justice! Justice! Justice! Now! Yay, police!
What happened to Shawn?
Mayor Hopkins!
What happened to Shawn?
Mayor Hopkins!
What happened to Shawn?
No justice!
No peace!
No justice!
No peace!
No justice!
No peace!
Yay, police!
What happened to Shawn?
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 Yay, police!
What happened to Shawn? Shawn life matters.
Shawn's life matters!
Shawn life matters. He was killed right here. They killed him right here. He was killed here. He was killed in his body. He was killed right here. He was killed. He was murdered. Yeah.
We want answers from who?
From the police.
We want answers from who?
Yeah, the police.
We want answers from who?
Yeah, the police.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Diamond Gibbs, and I am president of UDTJ organization. Thank you all for coming out tonight, and thank you to the Morcho and Carson family who have allowed UDTJ and Delco Resist to stand with them during this fight for justice. I know this is a very difficult time for Shawn's loved ones as we commemorate what would have been Shawn's 23rd birthday. We send our deepest condolences and will continue to stand with and support the family during this tough time. Tonight, we are here for two reasons: to celebrate Shawn's life and to demand justice. This is a critical time where we have to make sure that we show up for each other, support each other, and speak out collectively about injustices like this. We keep us safe and have to hold those who fail to do that accountable. Again, I want to thank you all for coming out tonight, and we will just jump right into our Day of Remembrance program. So I will invite up our next speaker, who will be Ashley Dosiamore from Delco Resist.
Hi everybody, and thank you for gathering today to remember Shawn Morcho on his 23rd birthday. And our sincerest condolences go out to Shawn's mother and Shawn's family and friends. This is an extremely sad day. Shawn should still be with us right now. And we do know now that the DOJ is looking into this case. And we're continuing to call for a patterns and practice investigation. And we're also continuing to call for Yeadon Borough Council to conduct their meetings properly and to complete them the way they're supposed to be completed. Every meeting. Accountability needs to be met on all fronts in this case, as well as adequate and accessible mental health resources for everybody when they need them. This tragedy could have been prevented. We're so sorry that it was not, but we're going to continue working with the family and working with other community organizers and activists across the county to make sure that those in the positions of power whose responsibility it was to make sure something like this didn't happen no longer keep those positions, and that moving forward something like this never happens again, because no family deserves to be dealing with a tragedy such as this. And happy heavenly birthday to Shawn.
Everybody, I want to thank you all for coming. My name is Sunny Malex Achu. I'm Shawn's uncle. I represent the Morcho's family here. I'm also Shawn's friend. I live in Boston, and usually I'll travel to Minnesota for business. And I'll sleep in Shawn's room, we'll drive everywhere. He was a really nice kid. He didn't deserve this. Most of the time in this country, United States of America, that upholds justice, things like this only happen to we, the people of color, it's wrong. We want justice for Shawn. That's what I'm here. I've been here since his burial. I've not gone back home because I wanted to be here to demand justice. Shawn was killed right in here. We want justice, and whoever is following the case, we're going to demand the video footage from when Shawn was picked up from home to when he died. We want to know what happened. We want justice. We're here to make sure that this never happened to any kid. We don't care what color that kid is. All lives matter. We're all one human race. We should love one another. The police duty is to protect us, not to harm us. Shawn loved life. Shawn would never take his life. I know Shawn, I know my son, I know my kid. He loves himself. He will never take away his own life. It's a shame we're here because justice is not being served. We want to know what happened with Shawn. And we're never going to give up. We're never going to sleep. Shawn's soul is not going to rest until justice is served. We want justice. It doesn't matter how long it's going to take, what's going to take. We're going to know the truth about what happened with Shawn. Shawn's mom is here. Look at Shawn's mom. She has aged in 2 weeks. But thank you for your heart, Mom. Don't give up. We're going to fight for Shawn. Shawn has sacrificed his life for us to seek justice for our people. And we're going to do just that. Until the day we get the verdict, the truth is investigated about Shawn's death, we're never going to give up. Because Shawn's spirit is around here asking for justice. We want justice.
We want justice.
Without justice, without justice, without justice, when do we want it? When do we want it? And if we don't get it, shut it down. Thank you.
And next we will call up Steve Dowey, and that is Shawn's godfather.
Hello. Okay. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is a long 72 days since we lost Shawn. Right here at the Yeadon Police Station. Happy having birthday to Shawn. Today is September 15, 2022, making him 23-year-old, which he did not celebrate it with us. We know you are with the law, but you left too early through the hands of some Gestapo groups within the Yeadon Police Station. A borough of which most of administrative staff are African Americans, in fact immigrants. Since July 5th till now, we have not heard anything from the administrative staff or the police department of Yeadon concerning Shawn's death.
What they know what they did.
All we heard is he committed suicide in less than 1 hour after his arrest. While under their custody. People in police custody should be kept somewhere secure under the supervision of police and other top securities. So what happened to Shawn? He was not supervised. The only answer is he is an African American child with immigrant parents. Police are not our enemies. Neither we are enemies to the police. Police are there to protect life and property, but doesn't happen in Shawn's case. And we are still waiting to hear the answer from the police of Yeadon Borough Police. We are demanding DOJ investigation into this case. until all those questions are being answered, we will continue to fight for justice for him. And justice will be served. Nothing going to stay under the rug or nothing going to stay under the rug. We will always love Shawn and cherish him, and Shawn will always rest in peace. But until then, we will all pray that justice is served. Justice is served. Because Shawn was not a bad guy. He was never in a crime before. It was a false arrest. And he just came to the police station less than 1 hour and they said he committed suicide. Right here in this borough. Right here in this borough. So we have to continue to demand justice for Shawn.
Justice for Shawn.
Justice for Shawn. Demand justice for Shawn. We will even need DOJ investigation into this case because it seems to be that Yeadon Borough is just a small portion of the investigation. We will need justice for Shawn throughout the Pennsylvania Department of Justice. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. And next up, we will have Marie Doe.
Hello to everybody. I just want to take this time and appreciate every one of us that came out here today. And we've been coming out here from the time Shawn got killed. Shawn got killed right in this building. As far as we know, we the family. Nothing much I want to say right now. I just want to tell you thank you so much for supporting us, for being there for us. We want justice. That's all we want for Shawn. He did not deserve this. To be killed this way. We want justice. I want justice for my nephew. We need justice. Yeadon Borough, we need justice. And we want that now. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Marie. And next we will have Joar Don.
Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Joar Don. I'm a community activist. I'm a young man that's involved in our community. I'm a community activist, a young man that's very involved in our community. But that's not the reason I'm doing this work here today. I'm here today demanding justice because in all the years of my activism in the community, all my years of activating for, doing activist work for other people, you know, all those years of just being there for other people, I never once thought it would be so close. That's why we're here today. It's okay, man. 2 months ago, this stuff first happened. 2 months ago, since this stuff first happened, this family still ain't arrested. And we still won't rest until we get justice. Shawn was a good kid. Shawn was a troubled kid. He needed help. He cried for help. He cried for help. He was denied that. He was denied simple things. He was denied simple protection. Shawn cried. Shawn waved his hands trying to get attention. Shawn didn't want to die. And if this could happen to Shawn, this could happen to any single one of us.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. The first few weeks this stuff happened, I literally sat and cried because it happened to Shawn, my little cousin. That could have been me.
Yes.
Remember, I've been doing this for years for other families. Never thought it would be in my own family. We just want justice. That's all we want.
Yes.
And as we're here today, we're gathered here. I want to thank our activists that's been working day in and out, giving our family hope, giving our family strength.
Yes.
I want to thank everybody that's here today that took the time to come here to celebrate Shawn's life. Shawn is 23 years old today. He's 23 years old. I just turned 25. I'm no much older than Shawn. I just turned 25. And this is why this is so personal. This is a young black man, not just a young black man, a young immigrant man. There's been war going on our young black men for years. And I finally feel this from my own family. We will not rest. We will get justice. We demand justice.
Demand justice. Yes.
As a family, we sat here, and all our activists, they personally invited all of our elected officials to be here today. And as you see, there's not one of them here. Besides our council president and our allies here on council. This is not fair. This is not fair, not just to this family, but this is not fair to this community. This is not fair to the immigrant community. This is not fair to the black community. We're going to be here and demanding justice every single day until we get our justice. Because if this happened to Shawn 2 months ago, this could happen to anybody here in Delaware County tomorrow. And so to Yeadon Police, to Mayor Hopkins, we're here telling you guys we want justice for this young man. He's supposed to be here celebrating his birthday.
Yes.
We have a family reunion coming up that he was waiting to go celebrate it.
Yes.
He can't even do that anymore. No justice.
No peace.
No justice.
No peace.
No justice.
No peace.
Thank you, Joar. And now we're going to start to transition into our visual. So if everyone can just start grabbing candles, we'll start lighting them shortly.
Thank you all. We'll be getting ready to protest very soon as our council meeting is getting ready to start. But as we've always said in the past, at the funeral and at the wakekeeping, we celebrate Shawn's life, especially today. Today is his birthday. So while we're here demanding justice, it's very imperative that we demand justice. But while we're doing that, it's also imperative that we celebrate the life that that young man lived. 23 years in this community. This is a rough community to grow up in. This is a rough community that literally people say it's a blessing to make it a 21 in this city because of the kind of trouble, the kind of gun violence that we see right here in our neighboring city of Philadelphia. And so with that being said, Shawn lived a life that, you know, that it wasn't long, but he lived life. Shawn enjoyed life. He enjoyed life. This is why the family found it very hard to believe that Shawn killed himself. Because Shawn he loved life way more than you can imagine. And so in that spirit today, we're gonna ask that before we get our protest started, we'll ask here that if everybody could join us in singing a happy birthday to Shawn today. We'll celebrate his birthday and then we'll demand justice. So thank you all. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Shawn. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Singing
Happy birthday, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.
Let's get started. Our activists are going to lead us here in chants of demanding justice for our beloved Shawn. So thank you all for joining us today, and please help us demand justice. Yes.
My name is Colleen, and I am here from Upper Darby. I'm one of your neighbors. And I just wanted to make sure that we go into the meeting with a couple of points in mind. And everything down in my hands so I don't forget them. So number one, everything that happened here was preventable. We know this to be true. This isn't a political statement that I'm making. It's not me saying it because I'm sad that he died, because I certainly am. This was preventable. We have a whole binder of policies in that building that nobody has any knowledge or relationship to, and those are the rules of the road of policing. They are the policies that were passed through council. They were agreed to by the police department in their collective bargaining agreement, and no one is following them. And what that means is that not only was Shawn's death preventable, but it could easily happen again. And what a disservice and disrespect to Shawn's life, and a disrespect to his mom, and a disrespect to this community that we're not even going to try and work to get those answers. We all have been working to get those answers. We've been coming to these meetings, right? And we know that the harm is continuing to happen. The harm started, or maybe continued, on the day that Shawn died, but that harm has not stopped. That harm is in the council meetings where Shawn's family is not respected and given an opportunity to speak. It's in the council meetings where they aren't finished, where they don't let community members speak and offer ideas on how to fix this problem. It's in a district attorney that has taken about 3 days to just write this off and say, oh, it was an accident. It was not an accident. We have policies that if they had followed, Shawn would be alive today and we wouldn't be out there. The final thing I wanted to just make sure that we all walk in there with this energy is that we're not going anywhere. They think we're going to tire ourselves out. They are wrong. They are wrong. This family, this community, this larger community of Delaware County, we are not going away. And not only are we going to make sure that we get all the answers to our questions about how Shawn died, why Shawn died, we are also going to make sure it never happens again. In Yeadon, in Upper Darby, in Chester, in Havertown, in Springfield, and anywhere else. They're going to know Shawn's name. They're going to know that he mattered, and they're going to know that his family cared about him so much, and they are going to fight. We are all going to fight to make sure that this never happens again. I'm going to hand things over to... Okay, go ahead. Okay.
I just want to make everyone aware that there are tow trucks going into the parking lot. So I don't know if Yeadon is actively trying to get people's cars towed right now, but I just want to flag that.
In addition, yeah, so there's a tow truck, and then in addition to that, I just want this to be on the record, they also somehow ran out of speaker sheets and agenda pages. That's a problem. So we're gonna make sure we go in there right now, and we're gonna make sure we stay, and we're gonna make sure that we speak. Is that right?
Yes.
And we're gonna be peaceful, but we're gonna make sure that our voices are heard. And anybody who thinks that their car is being towed right now, go ahead and figure that out, and then meet us up on the 3rd floor, and I'm not sure how I'm handing this off. Oh, and then I'm so sorry. I'm supposed to introduce Kyle. So Kyle is actually going to read for you really quickly all the things we've uncovered so far. Sorry.
Thank you.
So I'm just going to read off our initial findings and review. At any time, if you guys want, please feel free to go into the council meeting. They're not going to really let us read this out during their council meeting. We aren't that confident, so we're going to read it out here. Over the last 2 months, UDTJ and Delco Resist have worked directly with the family of Shawn to review evidence in this case with the goal of better understanding the circumstances surrounding Shawn's death in July of 2022. As we have gradually reviewed more evidence through right-to-know requests, our team has become increasingly alarmed. We have reviewed Yeadon Borough's Police Department policies, all recorded body camera footage, and the holding cell footage. Delaware County District Attorney Jack Stolzheimer's Criminal Investigation Division, CID, cleared Yeadon Police Department after only a 3-day investigation of the body camera footage and written statements from the officer. After watching the same footage, reviewing borough policies, and reading the officer's statements, we now know this to be a gross mishandling of the case. Upon our review and research, we felt compelled to alert the public of the magnitude of Shawn's story and the evident likelihood that it could happen again. Shawn Morcho was arrested on July 5th, 2022 by Officer Matt Barr with Officer Nicholas Takanitz and Officer Philip Stevens responding.
3 men.
Shawn's mother called 911 to get her son placed in a rehabilitation facility. However, upon Yeadon Police's arrival, Shawn was arrested for an outstanding warrant for failing to appear in court regarding a past family dispute and for possession of marijuana. Shawn was then transported to Yeadon Borough Hall and placed into the custody and care of Yeadon Borough Police Department and Shift Supervisor Lieutenant Burns. Upon Shawn's arrest, multiple civil rights and police department policies were violated, including, but not limited to, the failure of the arresting officer to read Shawn the Miranda warnings, where he was arrested for not just a warrant but for possession of marijuana, as well as his questioning of Shawn without issuing a Miranda warning in the patrol car during transport, failure of the arresting officer to communicate Shawn's intoxication and use of marijuana to the proper parties, failure of the arresting officer to produce a lockup record form upon arrival to the police department and failing to do so after a minimum of 30 minutes, failure of the arresting officer to ensure Shawn was examined by a fire department paramedic due to being under the influence, failure to perform a required health/medical screening interview during the booking process, failure to have visible justification that Shawn was in a state that inhibited the booking process, failure by the arresting officer to provide any number of phone calls to the detainee during the booking process, failure by the arresting officer to inform the detainee of their ability to make a phone call to family or a lawyer, failure by the arresting officer to ensure the closed-circuit television, CCTV equipment in the cell was operating properly, failure by the arresting officer to ensure CCTV equipment was being monitored, failure by the shift supervisor to ensure CCTV was monitored, failure by the shift supervisor to ensure all reports, records, and documents pertaining to the arrest were maintained and completed, and failure by the shift supervisor, Lieutenant Burns, to ensure the safety of the detainee. Shawn's detainment in the lockup facility lasted approximately 40 minutes. Shawn was placed in cell 1 after only 73 seconds of processing, which included a simple pat-down by Officer Barr. No other booking procedures were conducted. The incident report stated that the reason for not conducting any processing procedures was that Shawn was to be transported to Darby Borough for processing and then back to Yeadon for holding. However, this is unlikely, as the current policy since the COVID-19 pandemic has prevented municipalities from taking other departments' detainees. According to the incident report, Shawn was then left unattended for 39 minutes. There is no audio in the holding cell video. But sadly, on 10 separate occasions, you can see Shawn reaching out for help, waving to get the camera's attentions, and clearly experiencing distress. After that time, with Shawn's calls for help unanswered, Shawn attempted to end his life. Shawn remained in the cell until Officer Barr entered the lockup facility and called for help. Shawn was then taken down, moved to the hallway where CPR was initiated and paramedics were called. The paramedics arrived 8 minutes later, where he was taken to Mercy Fitzgerald Hospital. At 1:42 p.m., Shawn was pronounced dead by the medical staff at Mercy Fitz. Had Shawn been given help as requested by his mother, he would have already been down the street at that same hospital where doctors later desperately tried to save his life. For context, the average person experiences permanent brain damage after only 4 minutes without oxygen, and death can occur as soon as 4 to 6 minutes. Had the police followed their own procedures, that Shawn was to be under constant 24-hour supervision, conducted in-person checks every 30 minutes, and responded to his clear calls for help, there would have been a significantly greater chance of prevention and resuscitation. Had Shawn gone through the required booking and screening procedures as required by the department's policies, mental distress would have been noted and closer supervision enforced. Under no circumstance should a police department be so negligent and incompetent. 1 violated policy is a mistake. 2 or 3 would be a training issue. 4 or 5 would be a department in transition. Over 10 violated policies is without a doubt systemic and demands wholesale accountability from top to bottom. We have counted 13 individual violations of policy 4.102 so far. We remain deeply concerned with the lack of awareness and ownership of these council-passed, decades-old, collective bargaining agreement approved policies by Yeadon elected officials and the Yeadon Police Department. As a result, we have determined a systemic failure across the Yeadon Police Department at all levels to protect the community, its residents, and Shawn. Following the lackadaisical investigation by the district attorney, we find no other option but to demand the Department of Justice intervene and conduct a patterns and practice investigation of the entire department. We are not qualified to conduct an investigation ourselves, but enough violations are evident that we can say with near certainty that Yeadon has a systemic problem on its hands. As concerned community members, we have earnestly used all powers at our disposal to seek the truth about this case, so reforms can be created to make sure this never happens again. Given the current state of infighting amongst Yeadon Borough Council, the implications of responsibility on the acting police chief, Lieutenant Burns, and the bare bones investigation by our county DA, we believe the only way to ensure a quality, unbiased investigation is to demand the Department of Justice come in. We believe that the Department of Justice will find that Yeadon Police Department was grossly negligent in the death and suicide of 22-year-old Shawn Morcho by failing to follow numerous police department procedures and violating his civil rights. Unfortunately, we cannot rule out malicious intent by the arresting officer as a reason for their negligence. During transport, an exchange between Officer Barr and Shawn in the back of the patrol car indicated a previous encounter. Whereas Shawn mentioned being treated with respect and was told by Officer Barr, "If you treat me with respect, I'll treat you with respect," this was interrupted by Shawn stating loudly, "Yeah, no, but that's what you said last time." The question remains if this incident is not just a systemic failure across the department, but also a more targeted act of malicious, willful negligence. This is why a DOJ investigation is so important. Without their involvement, the residents of Yeadon cannot rest, they are not safe, and there is no guarantee anything will change. From the community and the family of Shawn, we make the following demands to Yeadon Borough Council. Pass the provided resolution stating Council's full public support for a DOJ patterns and practice investigation. Immediately waive your attorney-client privilege as council members when it comes to this case and allow the community to complete our collection of evidence through our pending right to know requests. Immediately suspend Officer Barr and Lieutenant Burns to desk duty pending further administrative review and the DOJ investigation that we believe will lead to both of their terminations. Cooperate with any other federal or state investigations that occur in the future in regard to this case or with the operations of the Yeadon Police Department, and conduct public meetings in compliance with the Pennsylvania Sunshine Act and all applicable laws in which the concerns of residents and stakeholders can continue to be expressed publicly within Yeadon's public meetings. Shawn should be here for his birthday. And unfortunately, because some people decided not to do their job at all, Shawn received no help at all. Every single Yeadon Borough police officer should be ashamed. Lieutenant Burns should resign. Shouldn't even be terminated, should resign.
Yes.
Justice for Shawn. Well.
No justice.
No
peace.
No justice.
No peace.
No justice.
No peace.
No justice.
No peace.
Thank you, Kyle. And now our council meeting is going on, so we oh, Diamond, I'm sorry. Is it time to protest now? Yeah. Okay, so we'll be demonstrating while our council meeting is going on.
So we did get a request from some of the activists inside that apparently the meeting is getting crazy, so we are asking for people to go in and show support. Okay. So if you guys are interested, I know we're supposed to have a protest out here, but there was a call specifically for people to come in to support. So I think everyone. Yeah, I think you can bring your signs in. Bring your signs in.
Especially the big one.
No justice. No peace. No justice. No peace. I can't hear you. No justice.
No peace.
No justice.
No peace.
No justice.
No peace.
One justice.
For now.
One justice.
Mistake in thinking we're on anybody's side. We are just here.
No, it's not. I can't stay up there. They fuss too much. Instead of, it's about us. And it's horrible.
I said, he said, why? I said, you know I'm a...
Good afternoon, my name is Yeadon. Today is September 15th, it's currently 8:02. We recently, 2 months ago, lost our nephew, our son, and the love of our life. This young man was supposed to be 23 years old today. We as a family came here to celebrate his birthday today. And our elected officials right here in Darby, in Yeadon Borough, is telling us that they don't even give us the respect to even have a meeting. They ended the meeting early because they're here acting like children. They literally disrupted a meeting as our family here. We have family that literally flew from overseas to come here to demand justice for this young man. And our council wouldn't even give us the decency of concluding the meeting that they scheduled. And then we got council people here that are telling us as a family that this is their town. Knowing that we have a family here that's grieving. We have a mother here that's grieving, and a council person just said to the family that this is our town. You're not gonna come here and tell us what to do. Well, when you kill somebody's child, you clearly don't know what you're doing as an elected official. You clearly don't know what you're doing. And so we're gonna come here every single day until we get justice for Shawn. And shame to that council person, and shame to every single member of Yeadon Council. Now, there's been some council people on here that's been trying to be helpful, but until they get together as a council, until they get together as one unit, this is gonna be a disruption forever. We as a family are tired. We came here today to demand justice, to celebrate our young son, our nephew. This is a young man that had life ahead of him. And we didn't even get a chance to even get our point across as a family. We weren't even respected enough to be heard as a family because our counselors are too immature to be able to work together as leaders in our community. These are council members that are parents. These are black council members. That is a shame. That is a shame.
Big shame.
These are black council members. A young black man was killed right here on this same ground 2 months ago. And you got a black councilwoman telling us that this is her town and they're gonna run it how they deem appropriate. Well, when you got 13 different violations on your police department, maybe you don't know what you're doing as a council. 13 different violations. It's time to bring in the DOJ. We as a family are demanding the Department of Justice get involved, and we're demanding that our Attorney General get involved with this, and we are demanding that our council decide to work together to give this family justice, because that's what we need. This, if it happened to Shawn, if it, as our activist here said earlier, if it's 1, 2, 3 violations, that's nothing. You got 13 violations. It's a systematic problem. It's a systematic problem, and we need to fix that. And clearly, this is something that Yeadon Borough don't know how to handle. And so we need our DOJ to come here as a family, So with that being said, we want to ask for justice for our family, and we are asking that our council and our mayor decide to work together, and our police department, to please put their petty political differences aside and work together as a unit, as you were elected to do, and get justice for our family. Because I don't give a damn if this is your time or not. You killed my family. And if you kill my family, you'll kill another black family.
Yes.
And how dare you, a black woman, say to a grieving mother that this is my town? It's a shame on you, and I hope you never get reelected again.
Never. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.